Welcome back, Hallmark Hot Takers, to Season 2, Episode 14 of Hallmark Hot Takes, where we run down all... Now, the final count I have, I know we keep changing it.
Wait, hold on. You keep changing
It's 31 movies from the Hallmark Channel. So we're not even halfway through yet. Good Lord. So, we are running down these movies, watching them and rating them, and Jason is going to explain our...
Candy cane ratings. We're going to give the scientific rating system from 0.5 candy canes all the way to 5 for a total out of 10.
Yes.
Or down to 1 candy cane.
Yes.
So what did we watch tonight?
A Christmas Together with You, starring Niall Matter, Lauren Vandervoort, and Harry Lennox. So I'm just going to go into this rapid recap. So meet Megan, who is a coffee shop owner / wannabe chef who has befriended an older gentleman who comes into her shop daily named Frank. And one day these two get to talking, and Frank shares that he has regrets about a long-lost love from 50 years ago, that he let his chance at happiness slip away, and then, they both went on and pursued other relationships. So Frank's wife has passed away several years ago, and he's lonely, so Megan says, well, hey, let's go find this Claire. And Frank is reluctant at first, but then he sees that Claire needs a little project because she is very much heartbroken from a wedding that didn't go forward. I think she got dumped, but they never really explain it. Yeah. So her and Frank embark on a journey to... Road trip of love to Pineville. Yeah. Where they find Claire, but Claire is not having any of Frank's advances because... Frank broke her heart, and she hasn't forgotten it. And what we come to find out is that Frank did want to marry her, but when he asked her father for permission, he said, "You're not good enough." No. And Frank listened to him, and Frank joined the army instead. So, and then during this time, Megan has met Steve, who is the local inn owner and wannabe boyfriend. And pretty much throughout the movie, he just keeps asking her out, and she keeps rejecting him. And then Frank sends a note to Claire that says, the reason that I broke things off with you was because your dad. And then Claire forgives him, and they dance at the end at this big ball, and they get together. And then Megan and Steve declare that they want to get together too, and they kiss at the end, and everyone is happy. And that is A Christmas Together with You. Done. Did I do all right?
Yeah, that was wonderful.
All right. So stay tuned for the reviews.
Okay. So I'm starting with the dislikes.
Time for the ratings.
The ratings with the dislikes.
Talk about likes and dislikes.
So when she's cyber stalking Claire early on, when she's trying to find out where Claire is, maybe the last name or whatever, she stumbles across this Jim Brown guy who gives her information on he knows Claire. Yeah. But I don't think there's any clarification who this Jim Brown guy was.
Yeah, we don't know how she found him.
That was a huge gap. I didn't like the stalking aspect. I thought it was really creepy. I just did not care for it. I really thought if anyone was really thinking about it, I'd be like, really? 50 years? How'd you get this? And you're at my house?
Yeah.
You're at my work? Yikes. There was a double shot down here. So Steve gets shot down by what's her name? Megan. And then Frank gets shot down.
Very next scene, Frank.
And then, I don't know, 30 minutes later, felt like maybe an hour later, they get shot down again. Same thing. Everything's going well.
Lots of rejection in this movie.
Didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. And then, she's at this place, and she goes to bed, and she wears her clothes. Full clothes on the couch.
I don't think she meant to fall asleep. I think she was waiting. There's only one bathroom. He was waiting for him to get out, and then she was going to change.
She was talking to him.
Right, she was exhausted. She just fell asleep.
Seemed uncomfortable.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. That was my dislikes.
Okay. My dislikes is... They did not do a good job of presenting the idea for him to go out and find her. he finds this picture and he puts it in his book, and then Megan sees it, and then he talks about Claire, and he was just saying, oh, she's the one that got away. She was the first woman I ever loved. And then he says, but I had a happy marriage with my wife, and blah blah blah. And then she's like, well, you should go find her. Like, if he had expressed, like, I wish that I could see her again so that I could apologize from, that would have been a better, but it was just out of nowhere. Well, let's just go find her. He didn't express any interest in going to find her, or the fact that he still might have had feelings for her. It was just, I didn't like that.
It was just a nice photo.
Very presumptuous.
You know, like, it was a nice photo. He found it. Hey, you know what?
Yeah,
that was a good
brought
memory.
back a nice memory. And Megan just took the ball and ran with it. The hot potato scene. So there's this scene with Steve and Megan, and they're playing hot potato with these kids at the inn. Now, back in the day when I used to play hot potato, you have the timer on or whatever, and then you throw whatever it is. You throw the potato and you throw it around, and the last person standing gets it. You're out. They were throwing the potato, and then whoever they threw it to, they would take that person's spot and then keep doing that. And I've never played. Has anyone played hot potato that way?
I think that's a
Pineville
way of doing it.
There was a lot of awkward rejections, like Jason talked about. And then I wanted to know, they never explained. Like, she was clearly rejecting Steve because she was, like, totally sort of lost in love. They never explained what happened between her and her fiance. Like, obviously he broke her heart, but I needed more. Like, I needed more than they gave me.
Yeah, and at the end, like, they just get together and they just kiss. I don't even think
the ending.
Like, there was
weird.
no discussion.
No.
So, like,
she rejects him.
Then she goes to
for
show
the
up
third time
at this party, and then he sees her, and then, like, if he had any bit of self-respect left, he would have been like, she's gonna come to me and talk to me about it. He's like running over to her.
Yeah.
And then barely anything. I don't even think he said anything. And then she kisses him. And I'm like, what? Like, not even like, hey, I was wrong, you know, like,
I'm sorry I pushed you away.
Right. But just kiss.
I agree. It didn't make any sense. No. What did you like about the movie?
At one point they were selling sandwiches for $1. I thought that was a good deal.
But then that didn't even come back into play. So what was the point of that scene? It was just to sell the meat cute.
It was the meat cute, yeah.
Okay.
Meat cute. So, like, she turned, and then
she bumped into
the dog got her, right? Isn't that?
She bumped into Steve, and he spilled his drink all over her.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that. I liked how, like, the house was sold. So they, again, in their cyber stalking, they find her house, which then, like, here's another dislike. So the cyber stalking thing, like, the next day when she's, like, trying to sell to Frank, we should do this road trip of stalkingness, is that she gives him a box, and the top's, like, the picture that he dropped, which is fine, give the picture back. And inside is a picture of Claire's house. And he's like, did you buy me a house? No. Like, what is this? And it's like, oh, that's Claire's house. So, like, so she went online, found Claire's house, printed Claire's house out, and then it's small. So then cut it out. Like, this is creepy. This is super creepy.
I don't know if it's that.
So then they go there, and then the house is sold, which I like that part because it was like, it wasn't.
Then they had to go find her.
They had to go find her some more. The sign-in book I thought was cool. So, like, they're like, hey, please, you know, sign our sign-in book at the hotel or at the inn or whatever.
It's an inn.
And then they find out there's a Claire, like, above the names, and it's Claire Abbott's, and they find out her last name, and then they find out the way she signed her love
match it to the picture.
Yeah. Oh, the best part of this movie, product placement. There was Campbell's soup. Product placement.
Specifically cream of mushroom.
Which was amazing because I love product placement.
He does.
Like,
this wasn't a horrible one though.
No, it was fantastic. Hold on a second. It's never horrible.
It's sometimes horrible.
No.
Yeah.
No. I love when brands get involved in Hallmark movies. I think it's a great way for them to stir up business, especially around the holidays.
Are you done?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I like the apology scene. So Steve, during their meet cute, Steve spills her coffee on her, and then he was, like, on the phone, and he had this dog. So he didn't really apologize. And then when they meet at the inn, it was a really awkward kind of apology, and I kind of liked it. It was fun. The double shutdowns, I know you didn't like them, but I thought they were actually kind of cool. They talked a lot about wooing in this movie.
Yeah. Woo.
No, not that kind of wooing.
Oh.
Like wooing, like romantic wooing.
I don't know that. I don't know that one.
I did feel the biggest emotional connection I had in the movie was Megan's relationship with Frank, and you could tell that she was very hurt that he got rejected by Claire, and she felt obviously responsible because this whole harebrained scheme was her idea, and I really like that. And then Megan and Claire have their little heart-to-heart when she tells him, hey, you know, Frank is a good guy. And Steve, I mean, he is one persistent SOB. I mean, this guy gets shot down so many times, and like there's not even a glimmer of hope, but he just keeps at it.
He must not meet anyone. He's like, this is it.
He was, I mean, like, Cupid's arrow hit him, and he's like, she's the one, man. I'm not going to stop.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it seemed like a lot of work.
And then I liked in the end, so Megan and Frank leave, and you're like, oh, well, they're leaving brokenhearted. But Steve's dog, who at the beginning of the movie was responsible for her getting the drink spilled, sneaks into Megan's car. And so they have to turn around and come back to bring the dog back. And that's how Claire and them, and I thought that was actually kind of a cute, funny way to get
like how'd the dog get in there, though? Like they didn't notice a giant dog. It wasn't like a little like Yorkie.
You have to
this is a regular sized dog, and the dog's like sneaking in there. It's like, hey. Oh, they didn't see me, and then no.
I liked it. You got to suspend a little disbelief. No. So what's your rating, Jay?
No, you can start. I started with the Half a Cane Disaster Fest last time.
So I liked the premise of this movie a lot. It was definitely different. I wish they had done a few things differently, and I thought Frank and Claire romance was really cute. I got a lot of feels from them.
Yeah.
I got zero feels from Megan and Steve again, because at the end it was just shoehorned together. Like, oh, okay, well, we should have them kiss, so we're just going to do that. So I thought this was a middle-of-the-road movie. I liked the premise. I thought it could have been executed a little bit better, so I'm going to go ahead and give it 3 candy canes.
3 candy canes. That is a pretty solid rating for this movie.
I agree.
I will give it also 3 candy.
Nice. So 6. It was decent.
It was a different story.
It didn't knock my socks off, but I was entertained.
Again, if Steve would have gotten shot down one more time, it would have lost another half a candy cane.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can't, I feel for
But
this
if they
guy.
would have done the ending different, I would have probably given it another half or something candy cane, because she needed to do some soul searching there, because
she needed to like go into that part and really apologize and be like, hey, like, I really have had a rough time with blah blah.
Breakup, and I felt bad about Frank.
And you're a real amazing guy, and you know what? Like, I want let's do this.
Yeah.
Like,
instead, it just kind of made Steve look desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, stay tuned for previews. Okay. So next up on the Hallmark hot take board is A Kiss Before Christmas, starring James Denton and Terry Hatcher. Lois and Clark fame.
I'm sure she did other things, but that's
that's what I know her for, because I watched that show religiously back in the day.
Yeah.
And Mary Lou Henner, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So when nice guy Ethan casually wishes his life had taken a different course, he wakes up the next day to find nothing is the same. He's not married to his wife Joyce. He doesn't have 2 teenage kids. And he is the CEO of his company.
Wow.
If he wants to reclaim his original life and the family he loves, he must convince Joyce that he's telling the truth and win her over before Christmas. So hence, The Kiss Before Christmas. I think is where they're going with that. So this is sort of like, what's that one that Nick Cage did? The Family Guy
Man?
Or Family Man?
Family Guy.
Family Man. Yeah, so we'll see how this one goes. We're still looking for a hot 10 here. Haven't had it yet.
No, not yet.
I didn't do my pen flip yet. So
okay.
We're out.
All right. Bye.